Falling back in his seat, man. What's up, everybody? You know, music is life. I always start off with a little bit. I've been on my Tiana Taylor lately, and music is life. I think I do myself a service by using music to get me ready so I can do what I've been meant to do, approach my calling, which is, I think, is to provide some value to people, to entertain, to reach out, to touch people some way, somehow in their lives. And in order for me to touch people, there needs to be something coming in, something good, something positive. And music does it for me, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to one of my favorite places in the entire world, and that's Inglewood, California, my block. What's up? It's Ron Raphael with the Legacy of Learning, where we add something new to our bag every day, every week, and for the rest of our lives. Today, what we're adding is the word of the day. As it says in the thumbnail that I created, I believe it says vision. And the vision, the word vision defined, obviously the faculty or the state of being able to see with the eyes. But it's more metaphysical than that, because the second definition says, and listen up closely, the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and or wisdom. So, but where does this all come from? You know what I mean? Do you wake up one day and then automatically a vision hits you? People might say that, and they have had a vision and it just came to them in a dream. There's another way to talk about a vision. But I think it happens a little bit differently than that. I think the things that end up providing us with a vision are things that we've been working on for our entire lives, things that we've been learning. And as I said before, and this is the channel called The Legacy of Learning, that we start learning before we're born, before the day that we are birthed into this world. We start learning soon after, a couple months after we're conceived, while we are still in the womb. And once we are finally born, things are introduced to us, a whole new environment, a whole new world, a whole new universe. And the learning process continues. It actually gets on a roller coaster and is heading a million miles downhill in the very beginnings of our lives. And this learning process comes hand in hand with curiosity. And then the curiosity develops. There's a period of time where we're always curious about things. And then curiosity turns into an interest. You start seeing a child going back to the same activity or the thing they were doing before. Obviously, is bringing them some sort of satisfaction. That curiosity is now going. And when you see that in a child, you become happy. You're with joy, you're overwhelmed. Why? Because we know inherently that curiosity is necessary for us to become full human beings and to reach our full development as human beings. We may not understand it. We may not be able to connect the dots. But once a child becomes curious, we know it's a good thing. And then curiosity then will lead to an interest. Then an interest may then lead to a passion, and then ultimately in life for your calling. And in order to get to this calling, we have to go through these steps, man. And it begins early. And then at some point in life, when we're able to remove all the things that are holding us down for whatever brief moment we can find, where we can relieve ourselves of the trappings of the world and have a moment just to breathe and to think. Inevitably, we return to the thing that gives us the most joy, our passion, our calling. And I think we're here for that. And which brings me to a story, because I'm getting ready today to come on film in order to give you guys some entertainment and to stay on course with what my passion is, what I think my calling is, which is to touch people in a special and different way and help motivate and move them so that then they can do their part in the world, in society. is I need you as much as you may need me. We need each other. I need your skills and talent to be at the top, and you need mine to be at the top. So when our skills and talent are offered to the world for everyone to use, that we're able to exchange. It's like a skill and talent economy, and we all need to belong to it, and we all have to contribute to it. So I'm getting ready today, and I want to wear this, I want to wear that. I said, I want to get on my motorcycle. I said, I want to wear something that I won't have to change. And I decided on this, and when I pulled this out the closet, I almost put it back in the closet. But where this began almost maybe 20 years ago. The story behind it is I have a business, I'm in cosmetology school, I'm in college, and I have a part-time job, and I want to start a club. Why? I don't know. If you're like me, you have a problem, man. There's always something, no matter what I'm doing, no matter how involved or important or great the thing that I'm involved with at the moment, it will never satisfy me. I'm always looking for the next challenge, the next thing to do, the next place to put work in to get something done. I don't think I'm a workaholic. I just think that I'm tapping in to the reflection of my creator. Now, if we were created by someone and we were created in that reflection, then we're creators ourselves. So now I'm sitting back with this club, and I have to create a flyer every week or every 2 weeks for the events that I'm having, either once or twice a month. And I'm having to pay a graphic artist. So when money started dwindling and I couldn't do it anymore and my budget was kicking my butt, I started to make my own flyers. In the beginning, it was really crazy, but over the years, I mastered Photoshop, which brings me full circle all the way back to what I'm telling you today. The things that I needed to do back then, I didn't know I needed them for the things that I need to do now. But because I put in the time and I kept them going and I stayed close to my interest, my passion, and what I now know is my calling, all of those skills that I were developing doing other things are coming into play now, and I'm using them all. The number one skill I find today that I have to use, that I started maybe over 20 years ago, didn't know anything about it, did not have the vision of it at all, was that I have to sit down and attract your attention when you go on a social media platform and you see options. One of these options have to stand out to you, and there's an art to doing this. And this art is called graphic arts and design. And behind that art is the understanding of the psychology of the human eye and the brain, what people like to look at, why they look at it, how long they look at it. So I'm getting ready to create a thumbnail this morning for this show. I'm getting dressed for this show without the idea just yet, something else that was on my mind, not this. When I said, no, this is what the show should be about. It should be about me starting Photoshop 20 years ago and now sitting down at my computer and creating the thumbnail you saw before you clicked on it or forced it in front of your face if you're coming from Facebook. Before you clicked on that thumbnail and the skill behind it, though it seems something very simple and very intuitive, like you should be able to pick it up, it is not. It takes a tremendous amount of understanding about human psychology, how the eye works. Even most of my film work and understanding film taught me how the human brain interprets images. All of this work started out as an interest, a curiosity. It turned into a business for me. Then it turned into a necessity for my business. It turned ultimately into a passion, something I really enjoy. And now I cannot get away from it. It is a calling. Now, all of this stuff comes together, and when you're least expecting it, right upside your head, a vision hits you. It may come in a dream. It may come in your sleep. But it normally comes when you have a moment to relax. So take a moment on a daily basis It's not what the show is about, but find your favorite place. You know, I always talk about it, because at your favorite place is where you can relax and you can think, and thoughts about passions and all different types of things start to flood into your brain where you don't have other things pressing on your brain. You relax, you start to think, and guess what starts to happen? Visions start to materialize. It's a trick of the whoever's trying to control you to keep you from dreaming, to keep you from getting to that point where you think critically on a daily basis, and you add all the things into it that add up to a vision, which is a plan, imagination, and or wisdom. If you aren't able to think and develop your imagination, then there's no way, if you're not using your imagination, that you can arrive at a vision. So exercise that muscle, the muscle of meditation. One, to clear your mind, but two, the muscle of taking a moment every day to think about what's important to you, your interests, your hobbies, your passion. And these things ultimately will lead you to your calling. And while you're doing all of that, while you're working on your calling, visions coalesce. So while I'm doing all of this work years and years ago, working on my club, creating flyers after flyer, then doing a website, creating all the media that went on my websites, doing all my photography that I needed. Why? Because it's expensive. It made more sense to buy a camera and take pictures. Now, if you have the money, it makes more sense to pay a professional because you get the immediate results and you get the benefit of their years of work, their wisdom, their imagination. But I did it the other way, and it took me a while. But now I am able single-handedly to do what YouTubers have to do by way of a team. Now, I want a team, and ultimately I'll get there. It takes me longer to get to my point of broadcast. But all the skills and all the things that are needed, I have developed over the years. Many of these skills, including the ability to speak in front of a camera and stay on track, came from other endeavors. I did sales for 20 some odd, 30 years. I started selling at a jewelry counter when I was in high school at a store called Service Merchandise. The only reason I'm saying this is because they're not around at the moment. So I can give them a little plug. And after being in that place for about 9 months, I was promoted up to diamond salesman, the only salesman at my age in the entire country, because of my ability to communicate, understand people, and help them get what they want at the time, and help them process that and give them excellent service. So all these things are coming together. And one of them that I didn't expect at all is the most important thing that I need right now, which is not the media, not this thing you're listening to, but the thing you clicked on or you saw originally, without the ability to attract your attention through a thumbnail. The message behind the thumbnail has no meaning, doesn't matter at all. So, this logo I created on Photoshop after about 10 or 12 or 15 years after doing my clubs and learning Photoshop. The thumbnail you were seeing or saw before you came in to this particular broadcast or this content was created on the backs of all of that knowledge, from photography to film to Photoshop, and ultimately to my passion, my calling, and my vision of creating content that makes sure that we are conscious of the power and the purpose of learning. You will get to your passion. You will get to your calling. You will get to your vision. Just make learning your legacy. And do it every day, every week, for the rest of your life. I'm Ron Raphael. It's great talking to you again. And I'll catch you next time on the Legacy of Learning, cubed.com. Remember to visit legacylearningcubed.com. 2 words, legacy, learning, with a 3.com. Go in there and get your free GPA cheat sheet and also make your request. You might get one for your free copy of The Legacy of Learning. It'll be sent out right away. Y'all take care, man. Have a wonderful week. Last week we were getting started. At the end of that week, I said, get up, get out, get something. This week, let's put in the work. And the work leads us. Ultimately, if we're not aware of it yet, it will lead us to our passion and then ultimately to our vision. Take care. See y'all next time. Peace.